Well, you couldn't really invent what's going on here this morning, could you?
It would be most appropriate if you turned your tone down, because certain expressions are not acceptable to everybody.
Well, good morning, Mr. Van Rompuy. You've been in office for 1 year, and in that time the whole edifice is beginning to crumble. There's chaos, the money's running out. I should thank you. You should perhaps be the pin-up boy of the Eurosceptic movement. But just look around this chamber this morning. Just look at these faces. Look at the fear. Look at the anger. Poor old Barroso here looks like he's seen a ghost. You know, they're beginning to understand that the game is up. And yet in their desperation to preserve their dream, they want to remove any remaining traces of democracy from the system. And it's pretty clear that none of you have learned anything. You know, when you yourself, Mr. Van Rompuy, say that the euro has brought us stability, I suppose I could applaud you for having a sense of humour, but isn't this really just the bunker mentality? You know, your fanaticism is out in the open. You talked about the fact that it was a lie to believe that the nation state could exist in a 21st century globalised world. Well, that may be true in the case of Belgium, who haven't had a government for 6 months, but for the rest of us, right across every member state in this union, and perhaps this is why we see the fear in the faces, increasingly people are saying, we don't want that flag, we don't want the anthem, we don't want this political class, we want the whole thing consigned to the dustbin of history.
It's good that you are here, because if the monkey goes up to the tree, it's better seen how red is his popo.
They have not been elected. That is the point that I'm making. And in the case of Baroness Ashton, she has never been elected to public office in her entire life. She takes an enormously powerful job, and the peoples of Europe, of Britain, of everywhere else do not have the power to hold her to account and to remove her. And that fundamentally is what is wrong with this whole European Union. It's all about bureaucracy versus democracy. Things have gone horribly, horribly wrong. And we have before us a caretaker Prime Minister, but we all turn a blind eye and pretend that it's business as usual. It simply isn't. You have no legitimacy here, Monsieur Le Terme. And what an extraordinary irony that a country that's on the verge of breaking into two is telling 26 other member states for the next 6 months what they should be doing. But perhaps worse than that, of course, is your own sheer hypocrisy in this matter. Standing up this morning, being the good Belgian, let's just remember that you yourself, as Belgian Prime Minister, didn't even know your own national anthem. You famously said, back in 2006, that it was only beer and football that held the country together. But now, I suppose, with the trappings of power, that's all been forgotten.